And just like that, the next episode has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. I am your host, MegaShadowFist. I suck at video games, I suck at commentary. Excuse me, and when we last left off, we were talking about some security camera stuff, so let's go and continue. The camera is running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There's no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea, too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa boldness. Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? You know, honestly, I'm surprised that Blackwell didn't actually use this as a chance to go like, well, actually, I'm not that surprised considering he's like acting funny, but you know, he could have just easily been like, well, you see, since we have no proof of anybody else, obviously, you know, Phoenix's thing is just merely conjecture. They could have said that, but they didn't. He didn't say that. Which is why I was like, I see, Judge. Because, like, I knew it got cut off, but I thought that Black was going to spin that around, but no. If I must. Okay, let's see what we got here. I hid to avoid getting shot. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. You're still a little afraid. Info update. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? Okay. That's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Let's see what we got here. So I had to avoid getting shot. He's afraid, which makes sense. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Still a little afraid, which, all things considered, it's understandable. You don't just stop being afraid after that. You're still going to be a little on edge, I think. But that's probably, knowing this game, that's probably the one that we're going to, like, want to go. Like, oh, why are you still afraid that the killer went to the lounge or whatever? After the killer vanished, why are you still afraid, huh? I don't know. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door, and then the detective shot at me. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? Or are you trying to say, oh, you're not afraid? Why aren't you not afraid there, huh? Okay, I don't know. Nope. When we view your emotions alongside your testimony, you find the unexpected emotion. Wait a minute. There really isn't anything strange here. I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright. I think maybe you're right. Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere. Okay. Like, why isn't he afraid here, I guess? Not quite. Okay, let's see. Let's go that way. What do you think about Director Cosmos' emotional responses, Athena? Actually, my cat is really sick. My cat is really sick, you know. Alright, Jill. What? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. And on top of that, my dog just doesn't seem to want to play with me. Why are you telling me all this now? Just humor me, okay? Now, when you heard about my cat, and then about my dog, which story made you feel sadder? I didn't feel sad at all. I was just really confused. Like, why are you talking about this right now? The story about your cat, of course. It's only natural. Because, what happened? Cat is really sick and your dog doesn't play with you. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Exactly. That would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural about the director's reactions. I think how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony would be the key. Sounds unnaturally complicated. That somehow doesn't surprise me. Okay, so Let's look at Athena's explanation here. My cat is really sick, you know. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. The dog just doesn't want to play with me. Now, when you heard about my cat and then about the dog, which story made you feel sad? The story of the cat, of course, is only natural. Exactly, that would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural about the director's reactions. I think how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony would be the key here. Ergo, in other words, you're just doing what I was looking for to begin with. Okay, I had to avoid getting shot. You're afraid. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Still a little afraid. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. You're surprised, which makes sense. And then the detective shot at me. Oh, I mean, I guess I was so distracted by this, I didn't really take the time to consider the fact that he's even less surprised that he was shot at. But he was very surprised. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Why are you so surprised that she's there, right? There we go. Director Cosmos, why are you so surprised when Detective Arm found you and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Ooh, I'm only human, of flesh and blood I made. Our bodies are bound by the force of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprising occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather, what were you surprised by? Pardon me. First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reactions? The fact that you were more surprised when Arm came, that's what I was thinking. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. He was collecting the space samples, I'm thinking. The enemies require a new weapon. Commence operation, hide under your desk. This isn't the 1950s anymore. Ah! This is not the 1950s. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. And first of all, why are they launching a nuke at a warship? Okay. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Okay. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that. Hold on. Where's the security footage? Details. Oh, it's a whatchamacallit. Yeah. Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos.
What is it? What have you two been up to over there?
Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you. That's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage, or in the heart of battle. All you have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you have to point it out already.
He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. The answer is this knob. Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. And And what does that mean? It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob.
Ah!
After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. Well, what were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door?
Ah! Fine, I admit it. You're right, I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Punko tell us something about how they prepared for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it moves to the launch side. But what safety lock in the boarding launch has to be the safety lock in the boarding launch has to be disengaged first. I mean, I find it kind of odd that they would leave something so, like, important to, like, a simple knob? I don't know. I feel like it should, I don't know. Because, like, just any Joe Schmo could do that, right? Unless, like, I don't know. I guess that clears up what that knob is for. Oh! So the killer escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor? Maybe they were transported along with the launchpad to the launch site? I don't think so. The Launchpad 1 corridor is filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about the moving launchpad in more detail.
Fine. But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony.
I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Why are you happy? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so, and yet, when you did it, you felt some joy as if you were very pleased with yourself.
Ah! How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
Ah! How do you know about that, too?
Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing.
But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there!
I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence!
You, a man of integrity, dare make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor.
Liar!
His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 is on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene. What?
Liar!
So that means the director did it with the launch pad? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest lie to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content.
Liar!
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once that safety lock was released, I'm sure that pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Ah! You're sure it must have went somewhere. You're sure it must have been somewhere. We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough too, boy? Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob, not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident, and then after the incident? Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All you have to do is turn the knob to call the launch pad back, and it would be right where the police found it. Gah! You made him sound like Mr. Starbuck! Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, a great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge where Osterwenders made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Oh, right. So, to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Ah! Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved, but our deductions in the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake. Take our body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved Launchpad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you'll explain yourself at once. Okay. What if I told you the crew astronauts never set foot inside the Launchpad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved Launchpad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was to trap the true killer? To switch it with another place? To hide it? How would he hide Launchpad 1? Like, it's really big. Like, I don't see how he could hide that. To switch it with another place? Like, to trap the true killer? This seems wrong, but because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? Yeah, like the Nintendo Switch, of course. Duh. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next episode.